Hello, the game has started and my opponent has opened with web. I have a pretty good opening rack and I have favorite from H1 down, and that looks like it might be best. The only better play would be getting the V or the F, landing at 4H. So favorite for 92. Not a great second rack, but not terrible. I have some vowels and some consonants, few duplicates, and I have the men component of a word. Opponent bingos as well, 70 points. And looking at this I from binging, looks like it might come in handy. The O also provides some opportunity to reach a double word square. The N of not of great value, as I have two already. I have the non-prefix, doesn't seem to help. So what about Merlin for 16? Not bad. I've drawn the X, the rest of the rack pretty good. Is there a bingo? I have the mis prefix and the ism ending. Scanning the board for X hotspots. So exist. Oh, interesting. Exits might score quite well. So opponent does bingo. I think X. Pity I don't have an A for exams, but exits looks pretty decent for 83. The only better option would be a bingo through the I. Not seeing it. I'm going with exits for 83. The V and the U, not great as a combo, but I can get rid of VUM up here, which would leave a pretty decent 4-letter set. 28 points. Opponent scores 49. Wow, so pressure's on to keep scoring. I think VUM looks fine here, unless I'll just have one quick look at an IUM ending word. Doesn't look hopeful, but no, not seeing anything. So I think VUM doesn't give much back to opponent. There is a little bit of a parallel play there, but this looks alright. 28. Not a great pickup. A little vowel heavy. Oedipian, not quite. Piano. Merlin takes an S. Maybe a G as well. So I haven't identified any great spots for the P to score with. Polo would kind of sort the rack out. That's been taken. Now, opine I have. Pume, no good. So what about opine? That gets rid of three vowels. Not great. Some duplicates and more vowels. So I won't be bingoing with this rack. But how best to resolve it? Vapors. I do have an S for pluralizing. Well, I've got ores here. 29. It's not a bad score. Does get rid of 2 of the 4 vowels. And it undoubles the duplicates, which is my main objective with this rack. If they were E's, I wouldn't worry about the duplication, but 2 O's and 2 A's together, the moment you pick up a third, it looks pretty bleak. So ores for 29. Some useful floaters here for bingos, mainly the A and the O, and actually the V's not bad either. V does feature in a lot of bingos. Opponent taking some time with this move. Now I'm looking at the A's, 4 A's, 3 O's, so pretty balanced. No real reason to hang on to 2 A's rather than splitting them up, or 2 O's rather than splitting them up. Better to play both off. The other option would be Anoa for 14. It's pretty weak as far as the score goes. Alum is good. So yeah, looking at options there, but my priority to get rid of the an O and an A at least. Well, I suppose I could do or 21, but I think I will go for score here. And there is a blank and a Z and a J still to come, so tile turnover, not a bad idea. Now, I didn't consider placing an A here and venturing down to this double word square, but it doesn't look like I can reach this turn. But that would be quite a nice score if I could get further down. Anyway, I will be taking that spot out just in case opponent has a sneaky plan to do the same. Not great. I've duplicated the A's and the O's again after uncoupling them. So adopt is the play that springs to mind. Thriller. Wow, nice play by opponent. And he takes a bingo's lead. So, not looking great from this point. I do have adopt here and board for 29. No, things are going from bad to worse, unfortunately. So, yeah, not looking good, especially with the blank and the Z and the J still unseen. If any of those three make their way to opponent's rack, he's likely to win this one. So let's see what happens. Just looking at a vowel dump here. I can't even play iota, or can I? I can actually. Iota for 24. Diota even. 28. And hopefully draw into that blank. This unlikely to remain available because it does represent a good scoring opportunity. This bottom left quadrant. Now any extensions through the double word square ending a word ending axis, making aqua. Just racking my brains to think of any 6-letter plays, 7-letter plays ending axis. Ataxes, but that's IES. Yeah, opponent's taken that spot. Ohio, not quite as good as the other spot. Now Diota still playing here, so I can maximize tile turnover. 21. I do draw the Z, but opponent likely to have the blank. And scores 55 with the J, so unless I've got a really good play with the Z, 39, not quite what I need. I need something in the mid to late 40s at least to stand a chance. Forza is a 5-letter play. I can't see a parallel play underneath Diota that works. Trues is good. TROOZ. Now Forza almost played here. Forza, pity Athella is no good. That would have been nice. Can't play through the T with my Z. Zoe just doesn't really score enough either. 30. Yeah, that J play really crushed my hopes of getting back into the game. ZA doesn't give opponent much, but I really need tile turnover if I'm to increase my chances of drawing the blank. Pity I don't have an M for Matza, M-A-T-Z-A, or Matzo. No M's to come. What about Tsar? 47. If opponent has an S or a blank, it's game, set and match. Wow, I draw the blank. Opponent likely to have the S, or a good chance that he does. Over doesn't work. Refooted, don't think that's a thing. I would be playing something like faux if opponent doesn't have the S or doesn't play here, because there'd still be two bingo spots underneath Diota and through these floaters. But if opponent has the S, that really does change things up a bit. Diota, no back hooks apart from the S. And I'm just not seeing anything through the F. Oh yeah, he's controlling the board here, because if I play there, then he blocks these and he wins anyway. Just wondering if I place my F here. Fleet. 46, not really enough, is it? Yeah, it's not enough, but it's probably my best chance at bingoing, I'd say. Or at bridging the gap, because 40, mind you, that's not bad. I'll go with this. Silly, I didn't realize there were only 3 in the bag. Or 2, sorry, there were 2 in the bag, yeah, which only gave me 6. So maybe fleet would have been better. Extra 7 points, I think. Verdite from the V. Yeah, opponent's likely to have a good play there. Okay, Verdite. Yeah, 462 to 446. Thank my opponent for the game. And let's see what we missed. So, opponent had Webby, went with Webb. Favorite for 92, looks fine. Binging for 70 was opponent's play. Now, no great scores here. Merlin, 18 equity, but Vanel for 20 with MR. Okay, but not much in it, I guess. So Dane, opponent's got a whole host of bingo options from this rack. And then exits for 83 was best here. Tequila, opponent had as a 72-point power play with the Q tripled and then the whole word doubled. Wow. Tequila. Opponent goes with Qua for 49, the next best option. And Vum for 28 was best from this position for my rack. Lurk for 31, opponent gets that one down. And Opine for 27, highest score. But Colo through the disconnected K and L, strong 5-letter set, although not an overly bingo friendly board. There were a few floaters up here, but yeah, looking at these 5, none of these 4 overly helpful with those 5. So yeah, an interesting position. I mean, Opine also did well. Colo took out that triple word square danger. Not that it was very dangerous to begin with, but anyway, Opine. And then Vitally, 28, opponent had, went with Any. Now I've got these duplicates to consider. 29, the highest score, went with that. And then opponent's got Thriller. Now would he have had... yeah, you could have played it there as well. B9 for a higher score, but this was obviously safer. So interesting, yeah. I don't know, I just want to go back a move, because I was considering Axis. No, but the rack leave would have been shocking. Still happy with the play, but opponent just happened to have a bingo at that time. And now I am really struggling with this rack and that deficit to make up. Adopt highest score and Pathetic. Wow. Didn't know that was a thing. Pathetic. So 47 through disconnected B and T. That's some next level spotting, if you can get that one. So opponent goes with Hey. Now this was an interesting point because again, a shocker of a rack, and Diota was that something? Actually, it's suggesting 2 there, keeping Diota. It's 18 versus 21. Yeah, I don't know. Diota did kind of open a little bit of a bingo lane, which I needed to do for any real hope of getting back in the game. So tricky. Now Jar was crushing for 55 and 90 points behind. Forzato. Wow. That could have changed things. Forzato. Not one that I'm overly familiar with, but I do know Forza, and I have seen Forzato in some distant memory. But that would have put the scores, wow, Forzato 93 would have drawn me level, but I went with a Tsar, thinking, well, I might draw the S. And now opponent's got some scoring tiles as well. Twice for 20 takes out the bingo danger, which made sense. And look at that, faux violette. Wow, through the V. Faux violette. What would opponent have done here? Could he have played a Y player J2 across? Not that I can see, getting to the double word square. Maybe there is a play, but I can't see it. Faux violette. Wow, that would have been great. Played oof, and then scungy. Massive play for 44, but opponent goes with yug, and then verdite or evicted would have been slightly more, getting the G3 double letter score value. And that was the end of the game. So yeah, 16 points in it. Some interesting words there, faux violette and bathetic was quite nice, and then forzato. So yeah, close game. Congratulations to opponent. Hope you enjoyed watching that game, and I will see you next time.